Welcome everyone to our Memeland ecosystem office hours. Today I'm joined by the goats, Silvaserger. We have Wafdawg, Swishi, and Brad joining me today to talk about all things Memeland. It's a lot to cover today, so we'll be diving into their journey. Definitely talking about some of the benefits of having a full crew. Had a talk a little bit earlier about the amount of super crews that there are, and believe me, it's pretty wild once you hear the numbers and stats. So you'll want to look forward to that, and then we'll be diving into how we can strategize for their future. Obviously, their highly speculated reveal, and yeah, a lot more. They have some neat integrations that I'm sure they're going to be planning for their reveal process, and maybe some trading. So we'll get into that shortly, but I'll just allow everyone to give a brief intro. Guys, take it away.
I don't know who wants to go first, but I guess I'll go first. My name is Wafdawg. I've been in MVHQ for probably since like September 2021, so just a little bit after you guys kicked off. Been in the Memeland ecosystem since potatoes. Pretty much my background's accounting and finance, and I like to delve into crypto and NFTs.
I'm Brad. I've been doing crypto and NFTs for a few years now, full time. Been a Memeland maxi since potatoes.
Swishy, I see your icon lighting up, but I don't hear anything.
She's getting nicely rugged, like always.
Rugged. Well, Swishy's figuring that out. I'm Silva. Have been in MVHQ since the first mint back in July of 2021, and Memeland since the potatoes minted and swept probably way too many on day one. And yeah, just painfully bullish on Memeland.
Is it working now?
There we go.
Perfect. So, oh god, now I'm typing into... Okay, now it's working. I'm a Swishi. I started shitcoining early 21, shifted to NFTs mid 21, and joined MVHQ as well. And I'm a Memeland max as well since potatoes. I flipped a couple, then held more. And yeah, that's basically it.
Amazing. Now you all know we have some very, very dedicated diamond handers in here. As always, all our office hours are rated NFA for not financial advice. But without further ado, I would love to just dive right into everything that is encompassing Memeland, right? We have all these wonderful collections from You the MVP to potatoes, maps, but, what is it all? So kind of just want to jump into it and have one of you guys just kind of break down, like, what does it mean to have a full crew, right? I know that there's been an evolution through their collections, whether it was through potato staking and now, building your crew with your captains, how to collect maps, that dives into land. I know it's a lot to take in, but, we can get started with, what has happened with potatoes and now the introduction of captains.
Yeah, I could take this. So there's 3 collections. You have MVP, captains, and potatoes. Captains are the main PFP collection. Potatoes are the secondary, and MVP is kind of like, I don't know. There's really no. I guess it's like the proof pass in a comparison. Staking your potatoes gives you valuables. We don't really know what that does right now. Staking your captains gets you maps. Maps equal meme. We don't know if that means, a set amount of meme or if it's for, staking bonuses. And then there's different levels of both of those. So there's different levels of maps and there's different levels of valuables. The mythical map, which is the rarest map, has like a 1 to 2 ETH premium when, on floor price. And then, then you have full crews. Full crews is 1 captain, 3 potatoes. I posted a picture in the Memeland chat It's a boost breakdown. It shows you your chances of getting each type of map, special being the least rare and mythical being the most rare. And the potatoes. So if you have 1 potato, 2 potato, 3 potatoes, there's all different chances of getting each of these maps. And a full crew gives you the best chance of getting mythicals, which is the most rare map. And then, as well as full crews, you have super crews, and super crews is 1 MVP, 9 captains, and 27 potatoes, which is like 200 ETH or 380K in US dollars. And the super crews give you 1 potion a week, so it's guaranteed 1 potion a week, and you get better chances at maps. The potions, we don't really know exactly what they do. The only hint we have is that potions equal perfection. So we kind of think it's related to traits, whether that's like a sellable trait or just some rare trait. And you can get potions from full crews as well. There's 6 potions given out to full crews every week on Monday morning. And it's just random to I think it's like over 3,000 full crews. I think that's it. That was a lot.
Awesome. No, yeah. And I think you mentioned previously it was, 85 super crews that are currently active?
Yeah, like 2 weeks ago, last I checked, there was about 85 super crews.
Yeah, so just to give a rough estimation, that's nearly 30 million in assets just to be active with super crews, right? That doesn't take into account all the other tiers that people are currently active with. So, I mean, if there's that much value into the current ecosystem right now, you just have to imagine like how much dedication people have towards what they're working on at Memeland, right? Especially with this amount of value, right? You want to stay very tapped in as things could change rather rapidly, right? It's all a delicate process, of course. But to dive into this, I just want to get a sense of how active you guys are. Like, what are your factors that make you think, okay, maybe this is a year-long play for me, or I'm kind of just riding the wave of potatoes action. How you see captains unfolding? Where are you guys' heads at so far?
I could take this one. I guess if you go back to when MVP dropped, the initial auction for that or price for that was 5.3 ETH. It wasn't like a mint; it was like a send function to an address, basically. And so I pretty much faded it because I wasn't really too sure if I should do that. But then those MVPs kind of rose in price over time. They got airdropped 2 potatoes each for free, and then the potatoes kind of took on a life of its own. And then I think a lot of people here got in around the time that potatoes dropped. I think Proportion and Cough Drop at the time had a ton of potatoes, so I kind of followed them in with some potatoes. And then there was all this speculation on how to get to the meme list to mint the captain. And then there was rumors that if you held 3 potatoes, it would equal one meme list. And then sure enough, that turned out to be true. So there was an incentive to hold on to your potatoes if you wanted to mint the captains. Ultimately, they had about, I want to say 730 extra captain meme lists that they raffled off. So some people won additional meme lists as a result of that. So they pretty much incentivized you to hold your potatoes all the way through those weekly prizes and drawings, and then making it as a requirement to get the meme list to mint the captains. And that's kind of how I got in. And those mechanics just kind of kept me in the whole ecosystem as a result of it. And I've even bought more since I've been in.
Yeah, and I know that other members here as well share a similar trading strategy and holding pattern, right? Most notably, Johnny Solana, right? He was a very early advocate of Memeland and big maxi. and ended up winning you the MVP, which are pretty high up there right now, right? He had an amazing testimonial to write about it, but it's incredible to see. This is one of the few collections that I've been able to see that a lot of people have been getting on, whether it's pre-potatoes time or post-potatoes into captains, but you tend to see people come in at different parts of the however you want to put it, whether it's the roadmap progress or just a new collection coming into the fray. But you continue to see people being active with it, whether it's during the staking process or a new mint or reveal, right? There's always action to be had. So what do you guys think the next play is right now? Are you guys honed into meme, or are you like all eyes and focus on Captain's reveal?
I can take this one. So I guess most of us are currently waiting for dollar meme drop. Like the art, it has already been such a long time that the art really doesn't matter that much. Ray, the founder, 9GAG's CEO, he hinted a lot that it's a well-known artist in the anime manga space. So everyone expects good art, but at least I don't really care as long as they look decent. It's okay. I'm looking forward to the dollar meme drop because that's when I will take most of my profit as well, I guess. Ray hinted a couple of times that he has had meetings with Binance and stuff. He said if during the blur drop, if that did so well, wait until meme drop. So he's hyping it up pretty good. So yeah, that's what I'm looking forward at least. Reveal is good. If the art is good, that's a bonus. And it's a strong rumor right now that reveal will be actually tomorrow, May the 4th, because they posted a couple of trailers with Mandalorian, like Star Wars font. And yeah, so everyone expect that tomorrow something is happening, but I'm really looking forward to dollar meme drop.
Yeah, I tend to agree with Swishi there because like just we're in this whole, shitcoin meta, and meme coin could be like the meme to rule all memes. So I think everybody's waiting for the meme drop.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been seeing a lot of emphasis on memes as of recently, right? Pepe has been taking everyone by storm, right? Everybody's either trying to get involved in shitcoins or are just so captivated by them that you almost feel like you got to get in before it's too late, right? So it is a good point. Do you guys think that there's going to be something directly tied to meme, like whether they might be integrating it into their reveal process, or it might become a token tradable with like tradable traits or whatnot? What do you guys think there?
Yeah, I can take this one, Poppy. I definitely 9GAG's CEO. He does a lot of like traditional press tours almost, in that he appears on a lot of Twitter Spaces, podcasts, things like that. And there's one particular one. I think Swishi actually sent it in the Memeland chat a couple of weeks or months ago. And he very specifically mentions that he wants to drop the token, the meme token, before all of these other platforms that I'm sure we'll talk about today, gm.com, pfp.com, holders.com, because he said that a lot of times he's seen these projects, these Web3 projects, launch platforms and extensions of their main collection, and there's no incentive to use them, so they inevitably die. And he said one way he wants to kind of front run that, thank you, Switchy just posted it, but one way he wants to front run that is by launching the token first. The token will inherently have value because it's the token for the Memeland ecosystem, which already has its own value. And then on top of that, he wants to add use cases as he goes along with all these different Web3 platforms. So he wants to have the token first and then launch things to use the token for, so that there's a reason to actually have and use the token, and not, the other way around, launch a platform, but then there's no reason to use it. There's no payout, no incentive. So he's trying to, flip that a little bit on its head and make sure that as soon as, the platforms, which are the main thing he's working towards, as soon as those are ready, users will already have the currency available to transact or, work through those platforms, whatever their purpose may be.
And I think it would be a perfect time to kind of jump into some of these, right? I see that on their website it says in the works they have holders.com, they got gm.com, Stakeland, and Petsland. Let's kind of go one by one, and as well pfp.com, which one of you mentioned he paid upwards to $100,000 for that domain. So I mean, obviously he wants to do something very integrated with these domains and portals for each vertical that they want to take forward with this, right? So what do you guys think that he's got planned for holders.com, for example? Like I see that it says TripAdvisor for Web3 Journey. Is this something that's going to be directly to travel, maybe something with your potatoes traveling to a different metaverse? What do we think there?
I can try to take this one. There's not a lot of info on these, so it's hard to say specifics, but holders.com has been, the speculation is, like it says, TripAdvisor for your Web3 journey. There's so many different things that could mean. I mean, you could, if you go to TripAdvisor, it's almost like a review site for going on a trip. And if TripAdvisor for your Web3 journey, maybe it's reviews for Web3 projects, for Web3 founders, for who is a reliable source for the news on Twitter. That's what I would have thought it would have been for. And then
I love that take.
Yeah. GMGM.com, I think, has been put on the back burner for now. From the last time I heard, it was supposed to be kind of like Twitter, but paid Twitter, where you don't pay as a viewer, but you get paid as a creator, and so it would incentivize posting on Twitter essentially within a new site. But for now, that's been put on the back burner.
And I want to add on to what Brad's saying. I remember, and I'm trying to look for it now. I'm not sure if it's on Twitter or if it was posted in Discord, but I believe 9GAG at one point a couple of months ago, he posted what was basically like an alpha or a beta screenshot of holders.com. And the idea behind it was I think it was holders.com, might have been pfp.com. I mean, none of them are products yet that are pushed to the public, so hard to really remember. But it was essentially each kind of major PFP project was broken down. And so you could go to a page for Bored Apes, you could go to a page for Cool Cats, a page for Kaiju Kings. And just like TripAdvisor, it had reviews of the project by project holders. So, if you want to leave a review about what you think of Kaiju Kings, you can go and do that, but you have to be a holder of Kaiju Kings. So it was used as a way to kind of inform, new people that are looking for information on that specific project, and what are the pros, what are the cons, coming directly from holders who are in there. So I think it's going to be used, whichever one of those websites it ends up being. I think it's going to be used as a way for holders to go and leave reviews on projects that new people coming into Web3 can then go to and you see the pros, see the cons, and figure out kind of which project works for them. So in that event, he's trying to do that for really the whole of the Web3 space, not just for Memeland. He's building a product that, could ideally benefit every single project by having people be able to rave and give rave reviews about why they love XYZ project, bring them more attention, more notoriety, and that kind of thing.
Awesome. And I really love the take you had on holders.com, right? We don't really have a centralized place where we can just share those thoughts, right? Like usually you see a lot of this information either shit talked on Twitter, and it's not really documented. People just know by word of mouth. So just kind of having a place that you can see what other holders generally think about this project that were dedicated at one point or are still dedicated. just get that unbiased opinion and really understand, this is how they really run things from the inside, right? Yeah, it's incredible, especially with gmgm.com, right? If it does end up being a social platform that powers the content creators, right? Like we could see a lot more content being created to benefit members of the space, right? We see all these threads on Twitter, and at the end, they're not really getting paid for it unless they are, hired or whatnot. But if we're seeing content creators being paid by the platform they're posting on, we can start seeing great quality threads, content, strategic analysis, whatever it may be. Generally think it's an amazing push for the space. What about the other last two, Stakeland? I think we mentioned previously that might have something to do with the maps. Any thoughts there?
Yeah, I think it's going to be kind of like a DeFi site of some sort where you could stake certain things for certain rewards. I would imagine that they would intertwine meme into that. Memeland has 69 Ethereum validators validating like 2,200 ETH. So they could put the rewards for that into there. They have 9apes staking with 90,000 ApeCoin. They could put the rewards into that somehow. There's a lot of different fun applications that they could do with Stakeland, but I'm guessing Stakeland will be not only for holders. I would imagine it would be kind of like open to all of Web3. And then the last one, Petsland, I don't think we have really any information on that one.
Yeah, and we have pfp.com as well. So that's recently the most talked about, also in that podcast I sent in. And it sounded a bit like they want to onboard Web2 brands into Web3, but not like an agency, but more like provide tools to launch a Web3 project. And he also mentioned that like Memeland is their resume, so they can show we did it worked, they have knowledge, and they want to onboard other Web2 brands and help them into the space. And he also mentioned once or twice that holders of Memeland can get benefits like whitelist on mints featured on there and stuff. But yeah, it's all shared all over the place. Like this was only mentioned in the Overpriced JPEGs podcast and nowhere else. So it's a little bit hard to find all those informations.
Yeah, well, it's great that we have the Memeland Potatoes thread. Honestly, one of the most active threads I've seen in our Discord. Great that you guys are, keeping track of the small things that are being said on his talking campaign, right? I think the most active and the most tapped in will, tend to reap the benefits the most, right? If you understand what's going to come into play, you can obviously strategize and get prepared for the next leg up. So as you mentioned, he's been doing all these, I guess, virtual road trips, right? He's going from server to server, Twitter Spaces to talk. Let's talk a little bit about Ray and his background, right? I remember when he got started, he really dove in and made a big step in the space when he joined. Oh, I'm forgetting their name. Kaiju Kings. Kaiju Kings. I think he was the bidder for the Mecha Kaiju at some ridiculous amount of ETH, right?
Yeah. So, yeah, he's degenerated like a lot of those big projects one-on-ones. I think he has a few Kaiju one-on-ones.
Yeah, I remember he became very active during that time, and even recently, like we've seen Memeland start getting interactive with other projects, right? Like Bored Ape, Azuki. They recently just bought Saints 1-of-1 Azuki, the demon Azuki, which shout out to Saint and his insane cook. But yeah, I see that Brad just dropped a screenshot of 9GAG's wallet. Yeah, you can see Gutter Cat Gang, Apes, Kaiju Kings, some Clone X's in there. Oh my God, is that what I think it is? It is a PXN. Oof. But yeah, some other wonderful assets around those. As you can see, he has his ups and his downs, even some Moonbirds in there. So what do you guys think about this, right? Do you guys think that it's good that he's degenning into other ecosystems, other projects? Not all of them have to be amazing, right? But what are your thoughts there?
Oh, absolutely. I think he said he made these purchases and he learned along the way. And it's similar to like many people's Web3 journeys where you have to kind of like have some type of something invested to really learn and understand the space. And so he kind of went through his growing pains, and like he's gotten to where he is now as a result of that. And then I would just want to say too, like even his collections, he doesn't look at it as like an NFT project. He looks at everything he does as like a community company, as like a social-fi experiment, and like there's like a large there's a large part of that market he could capture, with the Web3 space being sort of like his base audience. But like his other company, 9GAG, also has I think like 150 million daily active users on it. So he hasn't even brought in like his Web2 base into Web3. He's kind of like building these things up individually. So there's a potential for like an even bigger like mass movement into like the things he creates.
Totally agree there. I think the impact is the most important, right? If he's creating a space for everyone to just connect with, whatever front you're connecting on, right? Like if you're the trader, there's obviously a space for you. If you're trying to build a resume on Web3, looking at this screenshot from holders.com showing Char, it's awesome. It's dope. You want to see like what people are interested in, even like filtering the content that they're in, what kind of communities they're active within. All this is amazing, right? Like it's not like there's a direct monetary incentive, right? He's just building a dope community, which is great to see.
Yeah, it kind of gives you a bio on people in the space, at a glance, which is really nice to see.
Yeah, I heard somebody was going to say something. Sorry if I cut you off.
I was just saying.
That was me, bro. Sorry, Waf. Yeah, I was trying to cut in too earlier. I was going to say he's very big at supporting people that support him too. So you'll see him buy into like Gangster All-Stars and stuff. Like he's very vocal about that. Like he supports projects and he will only support the ones that kind of support him too. So he's very much Web3 and I think he's good for the space in general.
Yeah, I've had this conversation with a lot of projects as well, right? The road forward is not by kind of working against each other. It's really just coming together and understanding you got to support each other. The space can only be so big as we grow. So we definitely have to support each and every project as we move forward. But yeah, what were you going to say there, Silva?
No, nothing new. I was just going to agree with what Brad and Jinzo and Wafdawg were all saying, that I think it's a really good thing that he buys into these projects. He did a lot of those over a year ago, like Gutter Cats and Kaijus, because he wanted to learn the space. He wanted to get in and learn boots on the ground, kind of grassroots efforts, not just hire someone to do it for him or to teach him about it. He got in. We all saw his wallet. He spent hundreds of ETH on some of those. Moonbirds and Kaijus that are one of ones that are worth way less now. And if you check any of his announcements, his tweets, things like that, he always does come off as very, very genuine in that he always preaches, fighting with other projects is not going to get anyone anywhere. It drags everyone down. If we want to succeed, we don't want to compare our floor price to another floor price. Like every project is different. And I think for a lot of founders, I would just take that as whatever, they're just saying that to ingratiate themselves to their community. But with everything he has done and the way he's acted, from his purchases and how he has conducted himself in other communities and around his own. I think like he walks the walk and he talks the talk. Like he does it all. And I mean, yeah, like Jin's own Waf said, I think he is good for the space in that regard and a lot of others.
Yeah, and to piggyback off that, how many founders do you see in this space, you know, going and sweeping the floor of, you know, projects that they are, you know, supporting? And, you know, not even just sweeping, but just, you know, even just buying a single NFT from a project in the space that's doing well. You know, it's just a rare thing to see it. And it is very Web3 of 9GAG, of Ray, to, you know, to do what he does.
I mean, there's also like similar systems. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say there's like some similar, I guess, projects set up to how 9GAG has set up his project, and he's out there supporting them with like big auction bids on some of these projects at launch as well. So he definitely supports his friends, which I think is good.
I always say this. I think that every project needs to have somebody that is very tapped into the space, or at least have somebody, you know, at the helm that understands the sentiment and the culture behind NFTs. You got to have at least one DJ on your team, and it's very amazing to see that, you know, he took the time and effort and money, you know, to understand how we feel, the way that we think, you know, what brings us together at the end of the day. I think all of those points are very crucial, especially in a founder, right? So it is incredible to see that he's not just degenning for the namesake, right? Also learning through some of those L's that we take. They make you realize a lot more in hindsight, right? When you start looking back at all the stuff that has happened within the past few years, most recently, right? So as we talk about some of the topics that we've gone into, we covered the collections, we covered meme, we touched on a couple of the social fi products that they're working on. We got to talk a little bit about 9GAG CEO Ray Chan, and I think the thing that I've been waiting to talk about is this reveal process, right? Captains. It's been, I feel like, so long in the making. People are speculating about who the artist is going to be. Not sure if they've announced that yet. Have they?
No, they have not.
Okay, yeah. So there's still speculation about even that too, right? How they're going to look. I've seen a couple shit posts about the blurred picture. And, this is going to be the unblurred picture, boom. But what are you guys' thoughts there? Let's just start with, like, how you think the overall look of these captains are going to be.
I mean, definitely it's going to be an anime style. I think it's going to be something that kind of rivals Azuki. I don't know who the artist is going to be. There's been speculation on that. People have been trying to find clues on Twitter to see like who it could potentially be, but I think we're going to see some top tier anime artist that's probably going to put this probably like right below Azuki.
Has there been any speculation with the different characters that they show on the? Is it a placeholder, or is that already part of the metadata? You know, the Zoros, the Captain Jack Sparrows. I know that there's one that's an ape.
So the only thing we know now is that there's humans, there's sharks, there's krakens, there's Kongs, kaijus, and aliens. Aliens being the rarest trait, with only, I believe, 69 of the collection are aliens, and then there's 100 Kongs and 100 kaijus. And one of you guys could correct me if I'm wrong, but it's about 350 krakens and sharks, and then the rest are humans.
Interesting. So I like that he is taking inspiration from other projects in the space, Kaiju Kings, for example, but I'm a huge One Piece fan. So I was glad to see like Zoro was included. So I'm thinking that he might even take the route as including Easter eggs from some of the biggest animes. You know, we're looking at Dragon Ball Z, might see some Naruto shout outs there, or something even along the lines of, God, who knows, right? Bleach. Could be really anything. As far as mechanics worth, what do you guys think is going to be integrated into that? I know that you guys mentioned potions might take a role there. There might even be a tradable trait. What are your thoughts there?
So 9GAG mentioned like a lot of times when people want to cash out of their NFT, they have to sell the entire NFT. So I think he's trying to create something where you can sell traits. So if you have like a rare trait on your captain, but you don't want to leave the ecosystem, you can actually sell the trait and keep your captain. And so I think that's going to be, he gave out shout out to like Doodles for like what they're trying to do with like traits and wearables and stuff like that. So I think he's going to have NFTs that are wearables that can be, I guess, added on to your captain or swapped out, where they'll still be like a base level set of traits that are going to be rare. And then there'll be like these add-ons. And then he could also interact with some Web2 companies for some additional, I guess, skins and wearables for your captain.
Yeah, I think there's definitely going to be some sort of big collaboration at some point where they'll bring in, you know, and not to say that Nike's going to be it, but, you know, Nike comes in and, you know, how they did, or Adidas did for apes. And, you know, there was the sweatshirts that you could put on your apes. But in this case, it would be like, you know, a tradable, something that you could actually insert into the metadata.
So I like the fact like he's already thinking about people wanting to, I guess, take some profits, but not leave the ecosystem. And he kind of created a way for that to happen.
Yeah, like having specific traits that could be redeemed for, you know, IRL collectibles, stuff around that nature. Or even just leaving them within the metadata, right? So like that specific trait could be traded onto another PFP.
Yeah, exactly. Or like if you're just okay with like a floor captain and you have this rare trait, you could pretty much cash out on your rare trait and kind of keep your floor captain and still be in the ecosystem.
Okay, I got it. Yeah, so then you're going to see a mix of maybe floor captains with rare traits, rare captains with more common traits, but you know, there also plays. You also have the play of likability of a PFP, right? Like, what's the aesthetic look of it, right? Some trait, I'm curious to see like what these traits are going to be, right? Because some traits might just look too busy, or like, what if the rare traits are more simple, right? Is it like more aesthetically pleasing to have a common with rare trait, or you know, having a rare captain with more simple traits? All right, I feel like that'll also take a play into how they look aesthetically completed.
Not only that, because he's a degen himself, he knows like you can't make every trait rare and like every trait golden this or golden that, and so I think he'll pull it off correctly.
And to add to this, they mentioned a couple of times that you will be able to change the gender of your NFT, so you can choose if you want male or female or non-binary. I don't know if that will be a choice, but yeah, so you can do that. Maybe it will be like Neo Tokyo that you have to pay $meme to change it, but they just mentioned that this will be a possibility.
That's a good point. I forgot about that.
And I just want to piggyback on that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Real quick, Poppy. Just everything Brad, Waf, and Swishi are saying, I think, kind of illustrates a bigger overarching point that Ray and the whole Memeland team have been just really crushing since day one, is that they have kind of quietly innovated on so many concepts within our space that, you know, some teams and some projects now are adopting and using in their own launches. And at least in my opinion, they haven't made a really big deal of it. And not that they have to, but I do think they deserve some credit for, they pioneered the long-term reveal with potatoes. Potatoes launched last June or July, and it was a nearly 6-month reveal process. And that, that kind of, with 5 different stages, metadata updates along the way, rarity updates, all that sort of stuff. And, we've seen that recently with a lot of projects, either a delayed reveal or multi-stage reveal, like the Cool Cats Fractures recently, and a whole host of other projects. So along with that, the things like the gender swapping, which admittedly has been done by Neo Tokyo before, but that gender swapping, the tradables, which they're going to come out with at some point, I think that team really has done a great job innovating on a lot of the kind of just stale practices that we've seen in projects in Web3. And because of that, it just kind of gives me a lot of faith in all the other things that we're talking about, as far as, all of the platforms they're working on, the meme coin drop, everything they have coming in the pipeline. I kind of blindly expect it'll be different or novel in some way. And that alone is going to drive attention and, eyes to it. And I think that's just one of the general reasons why I'm so bullish on everything in Memeland, is that they're not just doing the old status quo. They're not happy with just kind of, sitting on there, resting on the laurels of the space and doing what everyone else does. They've made an active effort to be different, be better, try new things, even if it doesn't necessarily work. And I think that's just one of the general reasons why I'm so bullish on it. I think everyone's been doing a great job illustrating that in all the different ways.
I mean, even just recently, they dropped this rating of maps where pretty much you can steal people's special and extraordinary maps. And people have been like rating each other through the Discord with some Discord commands and having a lot of fun with that. And that's just sort of like something they just threw in as like just to try out. And I think they're going to like take what they learned and fine tune that mechanism and come out with something that we're really not even aware of what they plan on doing with it.
One of the strengths too is how like in touch he is with the with the community. He listens. You understand? That's the one thing that separates Memeland from other ecosystems, is that they're always attentive. They're always like careful on what they do, but also always taking feedback and running with it. Like you see it in Kungs also. You see a lot there. Like if the art's no good, they're going to rework the art. Like there's a lot of stuff that they hear from us and they take as feedback, and then they adapt. So they're very attentive. It's not like they're just running with whatever they think and letting us deal with it. It really is community first over there, I find.
Yeah, I just want to make one note about Raid. You don't have to sign up for Raid. You can voluntarily not sign up. You don't have to have your map stolen.
And it's with only one of your captains, and they can't steal like your mythical maps or your epic or magical maps.
Yeah, but that was a great point, Waf. I didn't even think about that, and it launched a week ago, right? And we're using Discord commands to take, things that will hopefully generate, meme coin for us. And it's new, it's novel, it's interesting. And I think it illustrates how they've been able to keep attention on their project for almost an entire year now, when, it takes them 6 months to reveal something, right? People don't care as long as they have something to do. And I think Memeland's done a great job of giving holders plenty of things to do kind of in the interim.
Yeah, a couple things to know here that, just to kick off right now, I will say if I could retweet every one of those statements, it would already happen. But something to really put emphasis on is just the ability to keep everyone engaged while they're doing all these things, right? We want somebody to work on a product without being rushed, but we also want to stay entertained while we get these dope products. And I think that's the balancing act that they're really mastering right now. They're working on holders. Just seeing this screenshot of the dashboard, I'm stoked. I would love to use this kind of platform, see how other people review each other and build their profiles. You want to understand, once you get tapped into one of these products, that's how you get hooked. And you're like, all right, well, what is Stakeland, or what is PFP.com? Right? You kind of want to jump into that rabbit hole and get involved in your own level of commitment, right? Whether it's you're going full deep with a super crew or you're kind of stealing maps along the way, right? You have your own way of getting integrated and being part of the community, whether it's real deep or just, some light interactions within their Discord or products, right? So as we kind of round out here, I just want to get into the idea of like what your strategy points are. What do you guys have in mind as we start moving forward, right? We talked about meme coin. We talked about reveal. What are the next steps that you guys are taking in terms of, whether it's like trading the day-to-day, kind of looking at how they're looking on a macro vision. Are you guys doing the cruise? What are your thoughts there?
Yeah, day to day. Yeah, I mean, you can trade the Memeland floor. You can check for newly listed captains with better maps than they should be for the price it was listed at. I've done that a few times. I was able to snipe a mythical map on the floor a while back. Ended up being stolen, and I gave the profits back to the guy who had his account hacked. But it would have been like a 2.5 ETH gain just because it was listed at the floor. So there's that, and then you obviously have reveal coming up. We don't know when that is, speculatively tomorrow. And then there's also meme, and the meme is, in my opinion, Waf, Silva, and Swishi, I think they've all noted, is that meme is what everyone is going for. So even if the reveal is not great, I think the play in the next month or so is when there is a reveal. If the reveal isn't great and there is a reveal dump, that's probably the play is to buy the reveal dip because most people are loaded up with captains and potatoes for meme, not for the art.
If you see like what me and Swishi just dropped into voice chat, one of the holders created this captain's treasures map, so you can kind of sort by the captain and how many maps they're holding and with their price to see like what's a good deal. So people have been using this to like snipe some good captains. So I've used this. I know Brad's used this. I think pretty much all of us have used this. And then so like that, and this was something created by someone in the community. And then also if you're on Twitter and you follow a lot of these people who have captains, there's a lot of spaces with guys who just like talking about Memeland. So they got a really built out community, I would say.
Swishi, what are your thoughts, man? I want to hear it. Give it to me.
Right now it's pretty hard to predict what's going to happen because right now buying full crews isn't really worth it for the perks we get now because the probabilities to get more rare maps are not really worth the price of potatoes because they still sit at like 3 ETH right now. So you could just get 2 captains instead of 1 at a full crew. But yeah, that's when the speculation comes back into it because everyone thinks down the road full crews will have more benefits and stuff, but that's a little bit hard to predict right now what's actually going to happen. So what I did basically was just hold. I bought like 9 potatoes after flipping a couple, then I held them, staked them, got the maps, was able to mint 5 captains because I had that much potato staked since day 1. I held those, then I bought a rare and flipped that, so my initial is lower. And now I'm just holding and waiting for dollar meme and hope I don't get broken on the way.
I mean, 9GAG has stated like the captains are the top collection in the project. So when there was a time where 2 potatoes kind of equaled the price of a captain, which I think right now it's probably like 2 potatoes are probably like 3 ETH each. A floor captain's like 7.4. So a captain's probably a better purchase than 2 potatoes. Plus that, because he always says the maps are the alpha. So if someone was trying to get into the system right now, I would say if you can afford a captain, that would be the best bet.
Yeah, and potatoes alone won't get any dollar meme so far as we know right now. So, but a single captain, even with 0 maps, will get somehow meme, but only a potato won't give you any meme.
And then he'll make the potato like involved enough in the system that the floor price won't go down. Like he's good like that, where if you kind of like speculate that something's going to fall in price, next thing you know, it has some additional utility and it goes back up. I think a perfect example was after the Captain Mint. People probably thought potatoes were going to dump because you needed the 3 potatoes to mint 1 captain. But then now all of a sudden you need them to form a crew, and the crew has, a chance to get a potion. And, so he's always innovating and keeping all the assets of the ecosystem pretty much elevated in terms of floor price.
Yeah, I love all the insight here, especially surrounding meme. It looks like meme is the main objective as of right now. Just because, from the outside look, it seems as though he's trying to get meme out before all of these initiatives are able to launch, right? And then you could start using your PFPs or your captains for all of these different products that they're going to launch over time. So I really appreciate the insight today. Man, we covered so much ground. I'm so excited. It was nice to talk about all these kinds of things. I know that there's so many Memeland maxis here. But I would love to jump into some of the questions that we have here. I got pinged by, I think it's Raka Prince over in the Memeland chat over a pretty good question. So, how would you guys recommend getting involved in the Memeland ecosystem at this point? As you mentioned, it would be a captain. Everyone seems to be expecting memes soon. Do you guys think that 9GAG will perpetuate the Ponzi when the coin comes out, or do you think that the long-term holders like yourselves will take the opportunity to exit and we'll see another dip in the whole ecosystem?
Yeah, I think there's a real possibility that after meme, we see a sell-off on captains. But again, there will be, there's going to be meme allocation. So, if we look at like apes, when they dropped ape, you could have either sold your ape the day of the claim, or you could have sold it, a week from that day, and then sold all your ape, and you would have still, netted something very similar. So I'm sure there'll be a sell-off on the floor price of captains afterwards, but they also will most likely have some sort of announcement to back it up, to help it not just absolutely be obliterated like they have with any of the past things. Like, someone was just talking about with the potatoes mint, or with the captain's mint, how there was three potatoes, and then right after the mint, they announced, now there's they're staking with potatoes for better maps, and so that saved the maps, the potatoes for.
Now, as for each project that you have within the ecosystem, do you see them fairly valued, overpriced, underpriced? Thoughts there?
I think personally, captains are pretty underpriced at 7.5. I don't see why this wouldn't be over 10 ETH. I think just the meme drop alone is probably going to be worth anywhere between 3 to 5 ETH on a captain. So, I think captains are really cheap right now.
Yeah, I also find it interesting to see what's going to happen with once meme drops. We're going to see people take their profits, or are we going to see them double down on captains, right? Like, could go many ways. So very excited to see how that ends up coming out.
Yeah, I definitely could see like a post-reveal dip, and that could be a good opportunity to get in at that point. And then also around the meme launch, there might be like a dip there. But also, I think there'll be meme staking, so there could be incentive to hold, and for further stake, for further accumulation of meme.
Yeah, and I just want to highlight something, kind of going off what Brad said. talking about the ape coin airdrop for the Bored Apes. I expected once ape dropped there to be a really big sell-off on apes, and was kind of eyeing maybe getting in around there. And it did retrace, because I want to say that was close to its all-time high of almost like 120 to 130 or something like that floor for Bored Apes. But what actually happened in the end was a lot of the apes who got the ape coin airdrop, they sold some or all of the ape coin, and that gave them the liquidity to hold on to their ape. So I'm not necessarily saying the exact same situation will unfold for the meme coin drop, but I do foresee that kind of mindset being how some people are going to play it, where they would rather hold the captain for any sort of activation or drop that occurs in the future and sell off some amount or all of your meme coin to have the liquidity so where you don't have to sell the captain. So I'm trying to play a couple of different possible outcomes that might happen, and that's just one that I'm considering. So, after meme coin, I might sell a captain, or if floors don't really retrace, more than 5 or 10%, I'll probably just end up holding, because I'm, as we've all kind of outlined here, I'm a pretty big believer in what's going on. Brad made a great point that it's probably the most, complex and kind of egalitarian Ponzi we've ever seen in NFTs, at least. And so I'm happy at this point to just ride it out and see where it goes, because they've done nothing other than kind of put their best foot forward and make the right choice at every step. So I have to give them the benefit of the doubt and just assume they're going to kind of keep on that track record until they mess up.
I mean, I just want to piggyback on what you said there too, because if you recall, ApeCoin was kind of like languishing around under $10, and then when Other Deeds was announced, Ape ran to like $25, and so I could see a scenario where meme kind of gets dumped on early on. But if you go to Memeland.com, they also have another project called Treasure Islands, and it has like no information. So if they're also dropping some type of land that you only could buy with meme or something, you can see like meme just rocket right back up, and people who sold all their meme might need to like buy back in if they want to buy something else that's in the ecosystem, or just might miss out on that appreciation of the token. So you just never know with 9GAG.
Yeah. And then another point is that, Memeland has been built in the bear. Like, everything Memeland has done has been in, a pretty horrible NFT bear and, one of the worst crypto bears we've had. Whereas, Ape was all done through the bull. And, ApeCoin dropped basically at, I don't want to say the worst time ever, but it was basically the worst time ever. It was right when, ETH and BTC were selling off because interest rates were starting to go up. Whereas, you have a meme dropping in the depths of a bear going into, the Bitcoin halving next year. And I'm not saying that it's going to be anything like Bitcoin, but if all of crypto is running into, a bull market, I feel like meme dropping, what is it, a year, just a little under a year before the Bitcoin halving is a pretty damn good time for a new, potentially good coin to be dropping.
Wow, I wish we could talk about this all day, honestly. This has been so insightful. I'm going to say it here. You can definitely expect another Memelands conversation here soon. Loved diving into all the potential opportunities that we have within Memeland and what they have cooking, right? Like, they have so many different activations that they're incorporating, and it feels like everything is just meticulously planned to be incorporated the right way. So it was great talking about how maps are going to be used, a little bit about speculation on Reveal, reminisce over some of the L's and dubs of Ray, our beloved 9GAG CEO, and really just getting some wonderful insight from you guys. I know that you guys have been very active here, and I think it's very important to be able to hear those voices that are day in, day out involved in these communities. So definitely want to say not financial advice, even though we covered a lot about this project. But yeah, always great to have conversations all around here, and always remember that we have our good old focus discussions right underneath our VC Hangout chat. If you're ever interested in talking about Memeland or any other related projects, just jump in there and get involved in the conversation. So just want to take a moment again to thank all of you that tuned in today, and my beloved guests today, Silvaserger, Wafdawg, Brad, Swishi. You guys are goats. Really appreciate you guys taking the time today to dive in everything Memeland. And yeah, stay tuned. We'll obviously look forward to this meme drop and how Captains turned out to be.
Yeah, now somebody you see why that chat is so busy. There's just so much to cover and so much to talk about it. It's so interesting. That's why it's risen to the top of MVHQ. It's such a fun ecosystem. Sorry, Waf.
Yes, sure. Also love that you popped in, Genzo. Oh, love your insight.
Thanks. I don't know if I'm getting rugged at work, but yeah, sorry I cut you off there, Wafdawg.
No worries. I was just going to say thanks, and then I could talk this all day. So I appreciate having the platform just to speak about it. And if anyone else is interested in anything else, like feel free to reach out to me.
Yeah, and I just want to piggyback on that, saying, whether you have questions or you just want to kind of see what the vibe is around the project. I mean, some of the biggest brains in MVHQ are down in that Memeland chat. Waf, Swishi, Brad, just to name a few, Jinzo, like constantly doing that analysis, looking at potential, meme coin similarities between meme coin and where it could launch in the market, speculation on what it all means, connecting the dots. If you're just looking for information to kind of, enlighten your opinion on, if you're on the fence, there's no better place than that Memeland focus discussion, just because, like I said, Brad, Swishi, Waf, so many others that just have such a good grasp on it, and they can talk all day about it because it is that deep. So yeah, thank you to you guys and everyone else that's down there just constantly spitting hot fire day in, day out. I mean, between the analysis and all the great copy pastas we have.
Let's go.
Yes, sir. Again, thank you all for tuning in today. I got to jump, but we'll keep the conversation going in VC1. Thank you. And peace.
Yeah, appreciate everybody tuning in. If you got any questions, find us down in the Memeland chat. Peace.